Alright, what's up people? This is SiTHFuRioN, and right now we're going to be jumping into chapter 4 of season 3 of Stranger Things. This episode is called the Sauna test. Super quick recap because I want to... Oh my god, man. So last time, Eleven and Max, they basically went back to Eleven's bedroom in Hopper's little cabin in the woods. Eleven started using her abilities to spy on people. Like she checked out Mike and what everyone else was doing, so kind of overhear what they were saying about them, and she spied on Billy. What, of course, Billy was taking that lifeguard to whatever the mind flare is now, the big fleshy dead rat fucking thing. And but the thing is though, Billy actually kind of saw her kind of vaguely, what then kind of led to Max and Eleven kind of doing a bit of investigating on who this girl was, the missing lifeguard. And they went to her parents' home, and her father is actually the head of the newspaper that Nancy is working for. It's smart because it's like controlling the feed of information that goes out to the public. But I think we kind of got like an invasion of the body snatchers type of thing, where it's like they're bringing people to the mind flare and the mind flare takes them over, and they're trying to build, as the one said to Biddy, like right at the start, was like, build, we want to build. So I think they want to build their numbers, build an army, build a community, something. As far as Dustin and Steve and Robin, I really love this fucking duo, man. Steve and Dustin. I really do love them too. They're so, just the way that they bounce off each other, like the actors just absolutely amazing. And Robin is a real nice addition to the group, but she cracked the code. The Russian code, she kind of cracked it and figured out that it's something to do with the mall. And they were like round the back, they were spying on a delivery truck, like dropping stuff off into a building. And for like a split second, they made like a bit of a noise and they almost kind of got caught. But as they went and hid, like Robin and Steve were like holding hands. So I think they're going to try and start to set that up as like a possible like romantic thing for Steve. Oh, and also Hopper and Joyce, they went back to the lab to kind of like, because Joyce is kind of paranoid, thinking that the whole thing with the magnets not working anymore is to do with the lab. So they went back to the lab, and Hopper ended up getting attacked by that Russian dude. He went off on the bike. I really hope Hopper is okay, because like Hopper got fucked up by that Russian, man. Hopper really got roughed up. And also Will's kind of going through some stuff at the moment. He wants things to go back to the way things used to be. And everyone's like more interested in girls and everything. And I think they're trying to spin the story now that possibly Will might be gay. So obviously, like, he's not going to be like one of the boys, you know, all around the girls and stuff. Plus it's the 80s as well. It's not like it's kind of like accepted and easier to come out the closet now. Not that it's easy now, but still, like, compared to the 80s, like. But yeah, we're going to get into this. Episode 4, let's do this, man.
Doesn't make sense.
Heather had a fever, so she took a cold bath, but she's better now. That has to be it. I don't know where that blood came from, but we saw her. We both saw her. She's totally fine.
What about Billy?
What about him?
He seemed wrong.
Wrong is kind of like his default, but it's nice to know he's not a murderer, because that would have totally sucked.
Who is that?
See, this is where you can't just hang out with Mike all the time. This is Wonder Woman, aka Princess Diana. She's from Paradise Island, which is like this hidden island where there are only women Amazon warriors.
Wow.
Doris, we need you to stay calm for us, okay?
God, her breath must stink.
Okay, so you two want to explain to me what in the name of Jesus just happened here?
His voice cracking like. Yeah, I knew that they didn't kill him or anything. It's like they're going to do to them what they've done to her. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I am right in it. It's the mind flare, but all like the dead rats just. Fuck. And it's gonna take them over the same way it took Billy and Heather over, and.
What's the last thing you remember?
Some thug attacked me.
Hey, you need to rest.
No, fight.
No, you're not fine, Hopper.
Yeah,
Where are my clothes?
What?
Oh, what is that?
It's license plate.
What are the dashes?
Well, they're blanks. There was, I think it was either an H or a P
Wow.
with the part rubbed off, and there was definitely a Y, for sure.
What are the odds that this guy registers a car in his own name?
It wasn't a car. What are you wearing?
What do you mean it wasn't a car?
Yep. Limit down the search, I guess.
Do you copy? This is a code red.
Shut up.
Wow.
She turned it off. Something happened, something bad. Our very lives can be at stake.
What are you talking about?
Just come over to my house. We'll explain everything.
Yeah.
But hurry.
Petty teenage shit to one side, like shit's hit the fan again.
That key card opens the door, but unfortunately the Russian with this key card also has a massive gun.
But there's gotta be a way in.
Well, you know, I could just take him out.
Take who out?
The Russian guard.
Oh,
What, I
really?
sneak up behind him, I knock him out, and I take his key card. It's easy.
To be honest, have you ever actually won a fight?
Okay, that was one time.
Twice. Jonathan, year prior?
Listen, that doesn't count.
Why wouldn't it count? Because it looks like he beat the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Wow.
And in the meantime, sling ice cream, behave, and don't get beat up. I'll be back in a jiff.
Wow.
Oh, dude. Come on, man. Not my scooper.
Oh shit. I love Steve, man. The way he like fucking holstered it, like, hell yeah, man.
And we're a small town paper, but we have something the big papers don't have. Trust. The trust of our community.
Tom, if you just
Do you know how I built that trust? By placing my faith in something the two of you don't seem to value a whole lot. Fact one, you disobeyed a direct order to stop pursuing this story. Two, you falsely identified yourselves as reporters, repeatedly lying to an elderly woman. Three, you broke into her home, committing trespass. Four, Mrs. Driscoll is a paranoid schizophrenic. You didn't know that, did you?
The camera's still shifted. Oh my god. Well, it's that way.
How in the workplace, in the real world, there are consequences to your actions. You're fired.
Oh shit.
Both of you.
That was nice though, man. Like when he like kicked his chair, the camera shifted and stayed. Oh my god, that's nice. I like her.
It's almost like, you know when you drop on a roller coaster? Sure.
Yeah.
No. I closed the gate.
I know, but what if we locked him out here with us?
Oh.
This is him. All of him. But that day on the field, a part of him attached itself to me. My mom got it out of me.
Get the hell out of my son!
But the part that was still in me, what if it's still in our world? In Hawkins.
Oh.
I don't understand. The Dimodogs died when Elle closed the gate. If the brain dies, the body dies.
We can't take any chances. We need to assume the worst. The Mind Flayer's back. And if he is, he'd want to attach himself to someone again. A new host.
How can you tell if someone is a host?
That was nice, man, with the freaking on the hand and shit, like a handprint type of shit. Like,
not a game, Lair. Okay. Those pills you used to swallow like candy. I can't recall.
they both got dirt on each other. What the fuck?
Gone. Oh, and please, don't give me that dead daughter sob story. Because I just don't care. Now, if you don't mind, I really am rather busy. Our parade director.
Yep. I would fuck him up too, man.
Who is he? It's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Wow.
That is a nice ring you got there, Larry.
Are you in?
Oh shit!
They want to expand to East Hawkins. They needed property, some land. Some people didn't want to sell, so I leaned on them a little. That's all. I swear, that's all.
I would come down and take his fucking finger off, man, for the fucking daughter comment.
You want everything handed to you on a silver platter. I mean, we were interns, Nancy. What did you expect? That you would make Star Reporter in a month, crack the big case?
You sound just like them. You realize that, right?
How does he?
Those assholes gave us jobs.
Is that what that was? That was humiliating.
Yeah, the real world sucks. Deal with it like the rest of us.
You don't know what it's like.
Neither do you.
Well, then I guess we just don't understand each other anymore.
I guess not.
I get it from both points of view, I really do. But like, do you know how many shit jobs I've had? You get hired to do, just basically be a dog's body, do all the grunt work. I mean, shit, man. You gotta work your way up sometimes in work, you know? So I get where Jonathan's coming from, but I also understand where Nancy's, like her standpoint, you know?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if you can fit here. It's like, super tight.
Yeah.
I'll fit. Trust me, no collar month, remember?
Oh, he's got some disease, something. Yeah, I don't know. He's missing bones and stuff. You can bend like Gumbo.
You mean Gumby?
I'm pretty sure it's Gumbo.
Dave, just shut up and push me.
Okay.
Not my feet, dumbass. Push my ass.
What?
Touch my butt. I don't.
Terrible footing.
Here you go.
He ain't gonna do it, man.
1, 2.
Shit.
Maybe last season, maybe, like,
All hands on deck. Ahoy.
she'll do it.
Get over here.
She's smart enough.
Need some sample.
You're a fighter. You always have been. I honestly don't know where you get it from.
Dad.
Get it from you. Mom. I get it from you.
Well, wherever you get it from, I'm proud of you.
Proud of me for getting fired.
That you stood up to those shitheads.
Mom!
Yes, those shitheads. Look at me, Nancy. Finish it.
Yep.
Then go and sell it to the Indianapolis Star or whatever. And I mean, can you imagine their faces when they read a story about their own town in a big paper like that?
That would be...
What was I saying? It's the setup.
Why not?
Finish it.
She'll carry on, break the story, be like marked as a like big news reporter and shit, like. But I kind of agree with Jonathan's comment about how like we've been there for a month and you think you're gonna crack the big story, like you gotta work your way up, man. And if that means fetch coffee, you fetch coffee. Like we've all fucking been there. I know a guy who spent 3 years working in a tattoo shop and he never tattooed a single person. He just did all the grunt work, doing templates and everything. Like,
You know when I said Nana was sick? She wasn't. I lied.
I know.
Hopper, he went all crazy on me, telling me I'm spending way too much time with you. He made me lie. I mean, you're the most important thing to me in the world.
What if he's right?
What?
If I only see you, and I'm a different species than you, then I should be with my species more.
What are you talking about? Did you spy on me? That's totally against the rules.
I make my own rules.
wow.
Commence operation child endangerment.
Can we maybe not call it that?
See you on the other side.
I like that. Operation Child Endangerment.
Yeah, I see those boring bosses you're so excited about.
Any guards?
Negative.
Booby traps?
If I could see them, they'd be pretty shit traps.
My God.
Billy, come and find me.
I find you, and it is your funeral.
Got you.
Wow. It's the dummy, right?
Behind you.
Hi.
Oh, shit.
Do it.
Oh, shit. Is he gonna kick off?
I'm Nancy Driscoll, her granddaughter.
That look then was like, uh-huh. Okay.
It's definitely not Chinese food. Maybe you guys should, stand back.
No.
Just step back.
No.
Bro. Step back.
No.
Seriously.
No. If you die, I die.
Okay.
Wow. Fucking love them too, man. If you're in it, I'm in it. Let's go. What the fuck?
Is that just me or did the room move?
Booby traps.
You know what? Let's just grab that and go.
No, it's a lift. The other buttons, there's one up and one down, right? Yeah, you saw the buttons, man. Open door, closed door. And then there's one in the middle, what's probably like a emergency stop or something. And then the other ones is up and down. Shit. So I'm guessing like the main lab is underneath the mall.
It's not your fault, Billy.
I've done things, Max, really bad things. I didn't mean to.
This is...
He made me do it.
Who made you do it?
I don't know, it's like a shadow.
So is that really Billy now?
Tried to stop him, okay, I did. Please believe me, man.
So is that really Billy, or is it like the mind flare, like...
Do us.
I believe you, Billy.
Together, okay?
I feel him.
Or was it taking over?
He's activated.
Can you just trust me, please?
Max, get away from the door.
What?
Get away from the door!
Let me out, you bitch! Let me out! I'll fucking cut you! Let me out!
Oh, God. Wow. No. Fucking do something, guys. Just stand there in the background. Go on, Mike. Oh, shit.
The girl.
Perfect music as well. We'll meet again.
She could have killed me.
Yes. But not us. Not us.
Oh shit. Body snatchers, man. I've been saying it. Oh. Oh. See now, okay. When there was only just Billy, 11 was struggling. Like, if it wasn't for Mike then stepping in, like, Billy might have killed 11. How is she going to go against all of them? Or is it like they kind of go back onto what they were saying, like Will was saying about how like the mind flare took him over, but then when the gate was closed, it was left here and it left like a copy. Okay, like the mind flare had took over Will, then 11 had closed the gate. So technically the mind flare is still in the upside down. It's behind the gate. And what's left is a copy. That's why he put his hand onto the paper and like left the mark. But what if every time it does that, like it imprints onto Billy, imprints onto Heather, then Heather's parents, imprints on everyone else? What if that imprint becomes weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker? So maybe like Billy is the strongest because he's the first initial copy. If you get my train of thought. Because, like, if you keep making a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy, then eventually that final one is going to be nothing compared to the original imprint. If you see what I'm saying. Like, that's the only, like, hope we've got. Because, like, if they're all the same as Billy, like, they're that strong, 11 ain't going to be able to cope. But then saying that could be the excuse for her sister to come back. Maybe the sister can kind of come and help. And man, my heart fucking broke seeing 11 like in pain like that. Like, I don't want to see that again, man. That was really kind of fucked up. But like the kind of jump onto Dustin and Steve and Robin and Erica, like their storyline going down in the lift. As soon as I saw the buttons, I thought, hold on, that's a fucking lift, right? Either that or there's a hidden wall. Well, a hidden room off that room that they were in that had the lift. But it makes sense, like they would just put all the boxes and everything into that room and then take it down to wherever the lab is or the testing ground or whatever. But what is that green shit in the fucking containers? Like, are they getting that from the upside down? Like they've built like another machine and they've opened the gate? Because I'm sure they show the shot, right? It was like the reflection of the guy's glasses. I'm sure of it. So they've actually opened it up. So is that a chemical that they're bringing from the upside down? Or if there's boxes filled with the shit, and there was what, 1, 2, 3, 4 containers in each box, could that chemical be used as like a weapon to the mind flare? Because at like the halfway point now throughout the show, I'm trying to wonder like what's the importance of that chemical? Why are they sneaking it into the fucking building in boxes? And then like it's about time like some of our group starts to come back together again, you know what I mean? Okay, I feel like I really need to kind of talk about it because I never really had like the time to do it through the reaction. But the whole Nancy and Jonathan kind of storyline, like them being fired and everything, like first off from Nancy's standpoint, being a young woman in that environment filled with men, constantly putting her down, telling her that she can't, like what her mom was saying, like they'll keep on saying that you can't do it, you shouldn't do it. I completely get it that she felt like she had to prove herself, that she was onto a great story. And of course, as the viewers, we know like she's right. There is something up with the rats and everything. But from her standpoint as a character, she's so focused on the fact that she's right. She's not wrong. Like no matter what anyone says, she's right 100%. So from her kind of standpoint, I get where she's coming from. I get the fact that she feels like she's onto something and no one's believing her. Everyone's doubting her. Everyone's making fun of her. Well, yeah, they're making fun of her at work. All these male chauvinist pigs and everything. And like I said, that's the setup for the end of the show when she breaks the story and she's right. She probably sells it off onto another, like fucking newspaper or something and makes them all look stupid. Yes. But then the argument that she had with Jonathan, like I said, I completely understand where she's coming from. But in the context of what was said, I kind of agree with Jonathan. And not just because I'm a fucking guy, but because, like, Jonathan was speaking the truth. Like, they were interns. They've only been there a month. It's not like she's going to break the big news story of the year and everyone's going to praise her and worship her. She's this almighty. Like, she's an intern. You know what I mean? Like, you've got to work your way up. Like, sometimes in some jobs, unless you're fully qualified, like if you're going into a job for the very first time and you're fully 100% qualified to do the job, then you get in, you're fine. You know what I mean? But then you've also had the experience in other jobs to be qualified. But if you're going into a job where you've really got no experience, like your interns, you're there to get the experience. Sometimes you have to do the grunt work. Sometimes you have to work your way up. And I'm pretty sure I was saying the same thing in the last fucking episode. Like, it doesn't matter if you have a penis or a vagina. You start at the fucking bottom and work your way up. I've lost count of the amount of shit jobs I've had where I've had to start at the fucking bottom. Like, when I first started working as a fucking barman, right? For the first couple of weeks, I wasn't even on the fucking bar. I was fucking collecting empty glasses and emptying ashtrays. Like, I'm going back a few years. This is going, like, back in the days when you could smoke in pubs and stuff. But, like, I was emptying fucking ashtrays and wiping down tables, going into the fucking bloke's toilet and I'm blocking toilets filled with shit. Like, I'm sat there in a fucking toilet. It sounds fucking disgusting, but trying to unblock toilets that are filled with sick and shit. And I'm thinking, I applied for the job as a fucking barman. Why the fuck am I, like, elbow deep in a fucking toilet? Seriously. It sounds fucking nasty, but I did that. I did that for a long time. I had no previous bar experience. I was like, what? I was like 21? 21. I never worked on a bar before. I never even worked like retail as far as like working a till. Up to that point, the only other kind of experience I had in like retail was flipping burgers in a fast food restaurant. I'm not even joking. But I came into this place, I started at the fucking bottom, mopping up sick when someone had been sick outside the fucking bar or something. I was doing that for a long while. And then I ended up being put onto the bar. And within less than 2 years, you know what I was doing? I was a supervisor training staff. Within 2 years, I went from cleaning the fucking toilets to being a supervisor training new staff members. And once you work your way up, you get a new guy or a new girl, their first week on the fucking job. It's like, all right, toilets are blocked. You send them to do the grunt work because I had to fucking do it. It's like you have to kind of start at the fucking bottom. It doesn't matter if you're male or female. Sometimes in some jobs, you've got to work your way up to get the experience. And like now, like granted, I've not done bar work for many, many years. If I was to go back into the bar trade, I wouldn't have to do the grunt work because I've already done it. I've already worked my way up. Now, I'm not saying that everyone who's ever worked in a bar has had to do that, but I did. And if I go and get a job next week in a bar, I ain't going into no toilets to clean that shit up. I've got the experience now. I'm a fucking supervisor. You're fresh out of school, you're fresh out of college, you have to do the grunt work sometimes, man. You know what I mean? So I get where Jonathan's coming from. And from the standpoint of both of the characters, it meant more to him. Like he has to pay his way. He has to earn his money and like pay for college and everything. While Nancy, like probably her parents are going to pay for her to go to college. Like she even said a few times about how like it was a shit job. So if they got fired, it's not a big deal. So like To her, it's not like, oh, I need this job to pay my bills and to live on. It was like, oh, I just want to crack a great story. While Jonathan's like, I need this job to pay my bills and pay for my car and get myself to college. Like, this is my only source of income. This is like, you know, yeah, Nancy made a few comments, like when they first went off to investigate the story about the rat, and they were standing on each side of the car, and she was all like, oh yeah, we get fired from this job, like, it's not a big deal. Obviously, it was to Jonathan, you know? Like I said, I get it from both sides. I understand where they're both coming from. And ultimately, yes, Nancy is right. There is something going on with the fucking rats. Jonathan shouldn't have really doubted her. Like, yes, I completely agree. But at the same time, in the context of their job, it's like, I kind of understand where Jonathan's coming from. You know what I mean? I really hope that, like, by the time I come to edit this, what I've said makes sense. Because I've been sat here for almost 15 minutes just trying to get my point across and making sure that I cross all the T's and dot the I's and everything. Because I go off on long rants about stuff and I have to cut stuff out. Like, so now, okay, so if we now literally, we have the invasion of the body snatchers. And like I said before, I think like if we're going to go down the road of body snatcher type of shit, it's going to add like a whole new level of creep factor and like, who can you trust? Because like I said before, like instead of some creature coming through the window or coming through, like literally through the fucking wall, like you have to worry about your mom, you have to worry about your dad, you have to worry about your next door neighbor, you have to worry like, and I'll tell you what would be good to really flip it is for someone in our main group to get possessed. Yeah, for someone in our main group to get possessed. I'm just trying to think who could be the one. Don't let it be Will. Don't let it be Will again. But I'm thinking like maybe, I don't know, it's really hard to pick someone. But like for someone to get kind of like captured and to kind of join the like the enemy team type of thing. Because then it gives more of an incentive to try and save everyone. I don't know, like I'm mentally thinking about like the long game now. Like if all these people, if your parents, if your friends and everyone gets possessed, is there a way to save them and bring them back? Like they did with Will. I would imagine so. I wouldn't think like oh if somebody, like if the mind flare dies and they all die. I don't think that would be the case. Like we've already established in the show that everything's connected in the Upside Down. So like if, like when Will was connected and they started to burn one of the tentacle things, Will started feeling the fire. So it's connected. So obviously Billy and the woman who was eating shit, like her heart rate was going because Billy was trapped in the fucking sauna. So are they still connected? And if so, it's like, if you kill the mind flare, as in the beast, on our side, is it going to automatically free everybody who has been possessed? If you see what I'm saying. So that could be the way to save everybody and bring them back if they do get captured. So like, I'm thinking like maybe, like I don't want it to happen, but say if Mike or Lucas gets captured and gets possessed and they're on the other side. Maybe Mike, because then that will add like a whole emotional level for 11 to tap into something that makes her stronger, because Billy really kind of fucked her up there, man. I don't know. I'm probably going to go and get something to eat right now because I'm kind of like really hungry and it's hot, man. I might start drinking alcohol. No, I'll wait until I finish like the next episode. Gonna just smash this today. Yeah, give this video a thumb up if you like it. Comment down below, let me know what you think, and subscribe if you haven't already, man. All right, I've been SiTHFuRioN. I'll catch you in the next one, man.